Good morning everyone and welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live. I'm slightly late and I bet you know the reason why. It's going to be Facebook, isn't it? It is. I'm trying to sort out my connections this morning and it's doing this, so I'm not even 100% sure if I'm live at the moment, but I'm going to start talking and we will find out very soon. So welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice, I haven't hardly spoken. My name's Tracy Mann from Tracy Mann Cakes. This is my cake shopping channel. So this is my Saturday morning show where I like to show you all the bits and pieces that we've been using over on our school site and also on our weddings as well, and also on the demonstrations that I do during the week as well. So hopefully I will be connected. Brilliant. I can see someone say good morning, so that makes me happy, so I know I'm actually online. So if you're watching this, you can watch it either via Facebook on letsshopcakelive.co.uk or you can watch it on my YouTube channel. So there's my YouTube channel coming up there now. So if you get a better reception on YouTube, we are streaming live on YouTube now as well. If you're watching this later on, so you've had a lovely day in the sunshine and you've come in this evening to watch this, then you can still watch it on YouTube and obviously the Facebook page, which is Let's Shop Cake Live, but it won't be live, but it will be there. So there you go. So you have that option as well, so you'll be able to watch it on both of them. So apologies for being a little bit late this morning. So as most of you know, I am actually doing weddings at the moment, quite a lot of weddings at the moment, and I've just been out to do a wedding this morning. So I have been across doing that. I'm going to show you what I've done. Here you go, you can have a sneak preview. So that's this morning's wedding. Those are actually fresh flowers, don't get excited, they're not sugar, but that is today's wedding cake. I would like to say I'm a florist, but I'm not, so I do have to wing it quite a bit, I have to say, with these flowers. But anyway, that's what I was given this morning to put onto a cake. Yes, lots of fun this morning, but that's where I've been. So I've been out doing a wedding this morning, so there we go. It's wedding season and therefore it's very busy. I've done a lot of cupcakes this week as well. I feel like I've climbed a bit of a mountain this week. You see, it's my fault for having a week off, you see. We don't have a week off, everything starts sort of gathering pace. Anyway, I am back now, and we're going to have a look at a few bits and pieces this morning, and we're going to start off with the cake school because that's where we normally start anyway, so we'll switch over to this. So if you want to purchase anything in terms of classes, then you will need to go to the cake school, not Let's Shop Cake Live. Let's Shop Cake Live is where all our products are, and the cake school is where all our lessons are. So if you want to have a look at some of our lessons, then that's where you need to go there. So it's tracymanncakeschool.co.uk, and they're very busy on my cake school. They're a very busy group doing all sorts of bits and pieces, and so I'm going to show you the cake we just had that came out as a lesson not that long ago. So this is one of the latest lessons that they've had, and then on the 16th of July we are just about to release this one to them as well. So this is going on to the cake school. Now again, you can buy this as an individual class, or you can join as a monthly member. So this class here will be for the Gold and Sugarcraft members only. So if you are in either of those two groups, or you wish to join one of those two groups, then that is what that one will be coming out into. So basically Gold and Sugarcraft covers, so Gold covers everything, Sugarcraft just covers the cake decorating classes, whereas the Gold members, they have access to all the cake painting classes as well, and there are over, I think there's over 50 classes now in cake painting, so there's plenty to crack on with. So there's lots going on, but that is the next class that's coming out on the 16th of July, and that one includes how to make roses. So I'm going to show you my way that I make my roses. It also includes how to do the ruffle and how to make cake lace, and how to put it onto your cake properly, because believe you me, that's full of pit holes, and also how to stack a 4-tier cake. Now the other thing I'm doing with this one this week is I've actually got one that's quite similar this week, so I'm not filming the whole thing, so I thought this is a bit silly because it's very similar, but the bottom is different. So I'm actually going to film a second version of this week, but a 3-tier version. So this one will be a 2-for-1 class, so you'll be getting 2 cakes. You'll get this one and how to build it, and then you will be getting a second one which is similar, but it's going to show you a different bottom on this, and it's a lot quicker than the ruffles but just as effective. So I think it's quite a nice alternative if you don't particularly like doing ruffles. They are extremely time consuming, and every time I start doing them I think, why am I doing this? And I get to to the end of it and go, because it looks brilliant. So it's really as simple as that. But I'm going to film a different ending this week on a very similar version of this cake. So I'm hoping to tap that onto the end. If I don't do it straight away, I will do it as soon as I have got all the footage edited. So it might not go on, when is it? What's the date this week? Where are we today? 8th, isn't it? 16th next week. Yeah, it might be just tapped on a little bit after that because the wedding is only on Thursday. I've got a funny day for weddings next week, Thursday and Sunday, but I will get it done, so it will become part of that class as well. So there's lots and lots of exciting things going on with the cake school at the moment. The weather has got very warm, which means I foolishly now start recording buttercream classes for myself, which is insane, but it is Swiss meringue buttercreams, all very stylish and very nice, so I'm busy doing that at the moment before we start moving on to, we're not allowed to say the word Christmas, are we? You know what I mean. Other types of classes, seasonal classes I'll call them, there we go, that's what we'll call them for that. Okay, so we have got all that going on the cake school at the moment, and if you do want to find out about monthly membership, you will need to go to the cake school. There we go, so tracymanncakeschool.co.uk, pop over there. You don't have to join as a member, but it's a lot cheaper. So if you join as a Sugarcraft member, you're going to be paying £6.95 a month, and that is going to give you access to all my Sugarcraft classes. If you want to join as a gold member, which is £12.50, you have access to everything, plus your own Facebook group, plus your own Facebook lives. They see me turning up at weddings, all sorts of things with my cameras and stuff, so they get lots of extra information as well. They also get their classes the day before everybody else. So if you would like to join that one, gold membership is £12.50 a month, and you don't have to sign up for a year or anything like that. You can just come and go as you please. So if you want to sign up for 1 month, great, we'd be welcome to see you, or if you want to come back, then we are also welcome to see you. So if you've signed up, left, and then you want to come back again, that's absolutely fine as well. You're very welcome at all times. It's a very nice environment to be in, and I'm very pleased and proud of all the things that we have done on our cake school, including the Imperial Crown. We know this is coming. So I had a letter from the Queen yesterday. I was very excited about this. I've never done anything like this before, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to send in a picture of that Imperial Crown cake that we did, so the big one, which was all on my teaching school, which loads and loads of you have embraced and done brilliantly. But I sent mine to the palace, wishing the Queen all the best. So there we go. And I did take a little video, I think, somewhere. Did I put it on here? Yes, I did. So I've got a little video here of my what I received yesterday. There we go. Actually, there was a bit more than that, but my editing on this is absolutely terrible. We know. Anyway, it's on my Instagram. If you want to go and have a look at it, you will find it on there. So I was very excited by just the postmark, obviously. To forget what was in the letter, the postmark itself was very exciting. So if you want to have a look at that, it is on my Instagram. So do pop over and have a look at that, and you will be able to see the lovely contents of that letter and the very nice paper. And I was a bit taken away with myself yesterday, but there we go. How easily entertained I can be with one piece of paper, but there we go. So we are moving on now to lots of other different things for the cake school. They're all setting themselves up with lots of different challenges. We have got obviously the big 4-tier cake coming shortly, and then after that we are going to be doing a semi-naked wedding cake build. So something similar to this, and I'm going to show them how to do it. Not only am I going to show you how to build this thing, I actually did it at a wedding. So I actually did somebody's wedding cake. So it's an actual, yeah. I turned up at a wedding and I thought, I'm going to film this, and it's going to be absolutely fine. So I set up a camera in the corner, and there's me chattering away building this semi-naked wedding cake in this venue. So this is actually somebody's wedding cake. It's a really good a good insight into looking at how to do an actual wedding cake. You know, I'm on a delivery, I'm on an actual live delivery, seeing how I do it. And I think it's really, really good information, because it is so lovely to be able to have you know, see somebody building a wedding cake on site. We see all these amazing pictures online and these snappy Instagrams where people literally hate it. They go like this at the camera and then suddenly they've got a cake. I want to see how that's done. So that's what I've done for you. So I have actually filmed that. So the semi-naked wedding cake assembly is coming as well. That's beginning of August. That's a new cake that's going to be coming onto the cake school as well. All very relevant stuff because this is very, very popular at the moment. Now there are a lot of wedding cakes going on to the school at the moment purely because it's wedding season, so I'm busy filming what I think is relevant for you as well, so you will find bits and pieces in there as well that are relevant, but lots of it as well, especially in terms of like putting fresh flowers onto cakes, which is really, really something you need to know about because unfortunately we are full of pictures and high-speed videos on Instagram showing people doing this, putting flowers into cakes left, right and centre, and you can't do that in this country. You can if you live in America, you can do what you like, but you can't do it here. So I've shown all the techniques about how to protect that cake from your fresh flowers. I have no problem with fresh flowers on cakes as long as they go on safely, and that's the most important thing that we have to achieve. It's really, really important. So the semi-naked wedding cake that's coming up does include all of that, as does the beginner's Swiss meringue buttercream as well. That shows you how to do a flower arrangement, you see. I did go to a floristry course once. I went to an evening course, I have to say. Didn't make it to the end, but I did get quite a good handle on what I'm supposed to be doing, but I still wouldn't class myself as a florist, but somebody who's got a rough idea, and I think that's what we need, isn't it? So I can certainly do a wedding cake and not have a panic when I arrive at the venue, so that's quite handy, isn't it? So it's quite reassuring, isn't it? I did think about filming this morning's, but I thought no, I wanted to get back here for Let's Shop, so I haven't filmed it today, but you will have seen what I've done. So there we go. That'll appear on my again, my social media channels, not immediately because obviously we have to wait for the bride to see her cake. So once she's seen it, then it will go on after that. So it's coming, it's on its way, but it's very exciting. So back to the cake school. Do go and have a look at the site. Go and have a look at what's coming. Look in Sugarcraft and you're going to see all the dates, especially those that are already on my school. The dates are lined up for the cakes that are coming. There's 2 more to go on which haven't arrived yet because I'm still busy editing. Probably do a fair amount of editing this week because it's so hot. It's quite difficult to do loads and loads of filming, so I probably will be doing a fair amount of editing this week. Anywhere I can find with air conditioning that I can sit in will be where I'll be editing, so there we go. So if you do want to have a look at any of that, then you're very welcome. And it's the gold environment, particularly, or the gold membership, they have access to me, if I want to put it another way. They have access to asking lots of questions. They make suggestions about what sort of cakes they would like as tutorials, some of which I hadn't heard of, but that's okay. I can always research that, and lots of interesting things like that. So it's a really lovely place to be. So if you do fancy having a go at doing cake decorating with me, then do have a look at the membership because it is a really interesting thing to do. Right, so we're going to move on. Oh, before I go, actually, the other thing I was going to say to you, I nearly forgot this, I'm just checking my notes. So sunflowers are out big time at the moment, so I have put one of the classes, so if you're not a member, so this only applies to people who are not members unless you're in Sugarcraft. So anyone who's in gold, silver or bronze membership, don't listen. Anyone who's in Sugarcraft or not a member, the sunflower painting course is now on offer. So I've put that on for the summer because it's now sunflower season and they're everywhere. I went into Marks and Spencer's yesterday and there was like a wall of them. I thought, wow, yes, they're here, aren't they? I don't think the ones in our garden have come out yet, but certainly the ones that are in M&S are out. So there is a sunflower patchwork cutter, which is the giant sunflower, large sunflower patchwork cutter, which we have on our site, and we have now got the class on offer. So as long as you're not a member in anything, so gold, silver, bronze, don't listen, Sugarcraft and anybody else, that class is now available to buy on its own at half price. I think I've put it on at the moment, so do please go and have a look at that. Sunflowers on cakes look amazing, and actually I've also done with this cutter, there is a video on my YouTube channel where I've painted it all sorts of different colours for Pride month, so I've changed some of the colours there as well, so if you want to go and have a look at that you can. And I think actually as well the sunflower cutter, the patchwork cutter is quite what's the word I was going to say? versatile, that's the word, in terms of using it also for something like a gerbera, so like pinks, and just not necessarily painting it the colour of sunflowers. You can paint it lots of different colours. Having said that, Sharon, she may be watching, I'm not sure. Lovely lady called Sharon painted a large cake last year with sunflowers on it, and it was amazing. So I know that it is a really, really nice class to do. So if you fancy doing that class, it is on offer at the moment on the Cake School, for those of you that are not in any of the groups, or are you in Sugarcraft and not in any gold, silver, bronze. There we go. I remember that well, didn't I? I'm on form today. I am awake. That's a scary concept, isn't it? Right, okay, so we're going to have a look now, all the things I've been inventing, because I can't help myself, you know what I'm like. I've got a few new bits and pieces to show you today, a little bit of painting. I've got a new cookie cutter for you as well, just to have a little look at. Of course, it happens to be ice cream themed, of course it does. And we're just going to run through a few bits and pieces. So some products that were out of stock that are now back in stock. Let's go back to Let's Shops. There we are, we're back on there again now. Our dotting tools. Now, our dotting tools, I've been using these to do some filming, so this is going to be coming out soon, but I haven't actually finished what I want to do with this yet, which is why there is a bit of a delay with this, because I keep changing my mind about how to do this course. So this I've done using dotting tools. There we go, there's my dotting tool. Now they come in a pack of 5 and we haven't had them in stock for a while. They've now reappeared because I have to order them from abroad and they take literally forever. But they are back in again, and I'm going to be having this as a lesson, but I want to do it on a cake. So I'm just trying to sort of get my head around exactly what it is I'm doing with this. But the dotting tools that do that particular design are back in stock again now. So if you want to get ahead of the game, then obviously go ahead and get those. But you'll also find I've used the dotting tools on quite a lot of other bits and pieces. And I'm going to show you on a little plaque today as well, when I do a little bit of a paint using one of the Patchwork Cutters, just some of the lovely effects that you can do with it as well. It makes a perfect dot. Now, trying to do that with a paintbrush is pretty impossible, to be honest, but with a dotting tool and paint, you get a very precise dot, and lots of different size dots as well. And I knew some people use the dotting tool for modelling as well, as making little eye sockets and maybe effects on bodies and things, you know, like skin textures and things. So there's lots of different things you can do with them, and the set of 5 contains like different sizes on the end, so it is quite versatile from that point of view. The current ones I think are multicoloured. They keep sending them in various different colours. I think the picture online is blue, but they're currently multicoloured. But anyway, they're very nice and they work, so that's all we need to know. And also the chalk pens are back in stock. So the chalk pens of what we've used to outline this chap. So for those of you that are on cake painting classes, or you would like to have a go at maybe even transferring an image onto a black cake or a dark cake, a navy blue cake, anything that's dark in colour, the chalk pen is brilliant for doing that, because it literally just marks it for you. It's edible. I'll show you what it looks like. I've got one in my hand. There we go. There's a food chalk pen. It's called food chalk pen. And all it does, it literally is like a white felt tip pen. And when you use, say, black, for example, black sugar paste, you can go onto your cake like this, using this pen, which is edible, obviously, and then you can paint around it. So when we do the tiger cake, for example, we do something called mapping, which means that we can transfer our image onto our cake. We can create a map for what it should look like. I wish I had the original pictures of what it looked like, because it was pretty horrendous when it started. And then you can use the pen to do that. So if you keep it safe, it's a bit like any felt tip pen, keep the lid on it, and then you'll be able to use it across other classes as well. Quite good if you're trying to mark out something on a cake without creating loads of damage, because sometimes you can use things like pins and things, which are okay, but you'll end up with a little hole, and then if you're painting, it becomes a bit of a problem, because then the paint just runs into the hole. So it is quite a nice tool for doing that sort of thing. So it's one to put in your box. So if any of my cake painters out there, you need a chalk pen. Is it Christmas one? We have a chalk pen. We had the candles one, which we use with a chalk pen as well, because that was on a lovely dark blue background. And so that was very handy for sort of marking it all out like that. And if the gold members are thinking, what does she mean, what does she mean, go and have a look at the candle one, and you'll see another way of using that chalk pen on there. Right, so this week we bought out some new cookie cutters. We have one extra new one this morning, very exciting, which has now arrived. So we're going to have a look at those in a minute. We're going to have a look at some of the patchwork cutters as well. We've got three new ones we've had come in. We've had large daisies, rose garland and musical notes. Now we're going to be doing a bit of a session with the musical stuff coming up shortly, because we've also got a lot of chocolate moulds that go very nicely with the patchwork cutters. So anybody who's into kind of musical things, musical instruments, bands, any of that kind of stuff. I always think when we're talking about things like novelty cakes and that, and people say to you, you know, everything seems to fall very much into a group. So you'll get like all the people that like their pets, and all the people that like their musical instruments, and all the people that like their sports. It can be sort of quite obvious groups. So we're going to be tackling music at some point in the future, as in the very near future. So we've bought in the Patchwork Cutters musical notes, which is a large cutter that you can put on top of your cake as your cake topper, and then we've got lots of little chocolate moulds that we're going to use as instruments that we're going to be putting around the cake coming up soon. So that's going to be done in a couple of weeks time. I'm not sure if it's going to be done on here, but when it is done I will make sure that you can see it, and I will tag all the products in as well so that you know exactly what it is that we've done. But I've been in this cookie mode for the last month. Is it month? I feel like I've been in it for ages. And we've been looking at lots and lots of different cookies. We have brought out three new ones. Two have already been seen this week. So I was live on Tuesday on Facebook and also on YouTube. So we now stream onto YouTube where we can. And we did the ice cream van, but I am going to show you that again this morning because we're going to do a slightly different version of it. Different colours so you can see. We have also got the new mini Fab ice cream cookie cutter, which I'm not going to do because we've already done it. And then we've got a baby Mr. Whippy. We've got a tiny little ice cream mould that's just, or cookie cutter that's just arrived in, which I'm very excited about. Haven't actually done it yet, so I'm going to do it live for the first time, and we're going to see how we get on with that. So I'm sure that because I've spent a lot of time looking at ice cream, I'm going to be absolutely fine with this, no problem at all. We have got some more cookie cutters coming out, and we're now looking at the Halloween ones at the moment, and very cupcake based they're going to be, so they're very exciting. Some of them have arrived already. One is actually on the website already, which is called the Mini Ghost. So if you remember last year we had a ghost that was about this big, then one about this big. This is a teeny tiny one to go on cupcakes, and that's arrived now. And we are also going to be doing a mini Frankenstein as well, so he's just arrived, but we haven't got that one on the website yet, and he's very small, very small. So I want to have a little play with that first to make sure it all works and looks absolutely lovely. So we're going to have a look now at the ice cream van. So the only thing I've realised actually is I haven't actually got any ice cream van cookie cutters in front of me, which is very annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you to look at that for a second while I just run around the other side, because my glamorous assistant Kelly is still not here with me. She is still abroad in the Netherlands, but hopefully she will reappear at some point and come back and help me. That's what I need. Right, there we go. That's our cookie cutter. Right, let me move that round the other side. So with the ice cream van cookie cutter, I've also created, let's put that in the middle there we go. I've also created a little sheet that you can use to cut out various bits and pieces on here that you can then use on your van. So I've already done one already, so we're going to have a go at another one this morning before we then move on to the little ice cream. So we're going to start with this. So we're going to have some royal icing just to stick our sugar paste down. So we're doing this with sugar paste. You can do it with royal icing, but if I try to do this with royal icing, I would be here for about 3 days, so we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to take hold of a little bit of royal icing. We're going to do one slightly differently this morning to the one I did before, so that we can see a bit of variation. So I've just taken a little bit of royal icing. We've just had a delivery of Merry White, so if anybody wants to use Merry White for their royal icing, we've just had a little mini delivery of that. And if you want to find out how to make royal icing, again, we do have a course, a full course on royal icing that shows you how to do absolutely everything with royal icing, including all the collar work. It's a very extensive course and it's a very, very nice one to do. So if you do want to have a look at royal icing, it is on the cake school. Right, I'm going to take that down for a second while we're doing this, and we're going to start with a little bit of sugar paste. There. So we're just going to do, whoops, I'm just throwing my paintbrushes everywhere now, there we go. So we're just going to do a slightly different colour scheme than the one we did earlier in the week, so you can see some different, and we'll pick a different image and we'll put that on so it looks lovely. It's like fun, isn't it? I do like these. I found these online and I just thought they're the best thing ever. So there's 14 images on here that you can cut out and put onto your ice cream van. I've sort of made them fit the van so it looks really nice. You can use more than one if you want to, it's entirely up to you. You can also use them just on biscuits and just anything really. Anything you can get your hands on. I say I've done an awful lot of work on ice cream vans recently. I'm going to show you the cookie boxes as well, just to remind you what to do with these cookies. There we go. So we'll give that a bit of a roll. When is Kelly back? I don't know. End of July I think she's coming back, so not yet. She's in Germany today actually, so she's on the travels today. Yeah, Kelly's travelling around. But yeah, she will be back with us at the end of July, I hope. She could take over then for a bit. I might go and have another holiday. Right, let's pop this on here. Now with these cookie cutters, they do have internal markings, but remember that it's really specifically for the cookie rather than for the sugar paste. So you have to put them on there like so and press down and give it a little wiggle. Like that. Now the reason I've got it on a plastic scraper is because I'm then going to take it and turn it upside down, and then I'm just going to use my finger just to go along and around just where those wheels are and make sure I can feel where everything is. There's the window. Just need a marking on it more than anything else. Okay, turn it back over. Let's take that away. Turn it back over and just press it out like so. So it's very easy and very straightforward. It's not complicated particularly. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut the cone off the top because we want that to be a different colour. Now you could paint it if you want to, but we're not going to do that. And then I'm just going to use my little tool here just to remove that part there. Again, you could pipe that part if you want to. You don't have to do the one there that's flat. Turn it round. Now I did earlier in the week use a piping nozzle to do the wheels, so you can always do that as well. You don't have to, but actually it does make a really it's actually quite accurate to that size, so that's good news. That's one less thing we've got to do, isn't it? Okay, so and then we're just going to take hold of this, take our royal icing and just paint over the top of this. Now I've got to admit I was rushing out the door when I did this. I'm going to actually show you a video on cutting this out. Maybe I'll do that now. Let me run that video while I'm just painting this. Where is it? I need to find it. Is that the ice cream van? Yeah, right. Let me show you the video on how to make it. I'm going to show you now how to cut out the ice cream van. So I'm just going to take some of our Kelly's cookie dough recipe, which I have just made. I'm just going to roll it out on some flour. So now I'm going to take hold of our new cookie cutters. There it is, and I'm just going to pop that on there like that, and I'm going to press down. Now there are some internal markings on here which will be picked up by the cookie dough, which is what we want, and then I'm just going to give it a little movement like that just to separate the dough. Move that out of the way, pick that up, and then we're just going to very carefully just press it so it's going to come through, and you'll see some of the markings appear then. So we've got the little wheels and the window. I'm just going to pop that then straight onto there, and then we'll cook that in the oven. Well, one video's working, the other one isn't, but anyway, we've got the idea. So that's how that works. So it's nice and easy to use. There's always a little bit I find on cookie cutters where the, so I'm just making some black sugar paste while I'm doing this. You always find with cookie cutters somewhere it gets a bit caught in the cookie mix. So if you're just careful when you remove them, hold on, I've lost the thing here, then you should find it'll come away really easily. You won't have a problem. But I am going to have very black hands in a minute because I decided to dye some sugar-based black, so I may regret this in a minute. But yeah, so we have a cookie recipe. We have a recipe card that's laminated. We have two actually. We have a gingerbread one and we have a cookie one. The gingerbread one's very popular at Christmas, obviously, and they are on the website as well. There you go. I think Nikki's put a link up for you already. Oh, she's good. She's like a mind reader, isn't she? Good morning, Nikki. So that's that on there, so you'll be able to have a look on there. So I'm just dyeing myself and some sugar-based black. I thought, oh, I must just do this while they're watching the video. Now I've ended up with completely black hands, but that's fine. So I'm just going to go and give those a quick wash. We'll go back and have a look at this. Luckily it comes off, it's not too bad. I find the gels come off better than most. The worst ones are the edible printers. Oh my goodness, look like I've been in a fight when I've been with the edible printer. Okay. That's better. Right, let's back we go again. So we'll just finish painting the bottom of these. I'm actually going to go, I'm going to put the whole thing on this time. I didn't last time, I cut the wheels away. I thought this time I'll just lay this on. So I'll pop that on there like so. So if you're making biscuits for the weekend, let's say you want them for a party on Saturday, you can start making them the week before. And you won't have any problems with them at all. I've made hundreds for weddings a week before they're needed. I've never had a problem with them. So our cookie recipe is super good. Just trim a little bit at the bottom there because I'm fussy. And you will find also a postman pat van. I love that idea. And with a postman pat van, when we come to cut out the cookie, you would just remove the ice cream part at the top and you would then have a van, so you could do a post van. Absolutely, I love that. There you go, Postman Pat. Charlotte used to love Postman Pat, she was obsessed with it. Right, let's roll this up here. So I've just got a little bit of black here which I've dyed myself in the process, so we're just going to roll that out, cut some wheels out. So I'm just going to put just use a little bit of royal icing, use a bit of water or something, but royal icing will be fine. Just put that on there. Take hold of the end of a piping nozzle because it actually fits near enough. It's not far out. I use these for cutting out circles all the time. It's probably a bit naughty, but I do think it works really well. There we go. I'm just going to pop that on there like that. Piping nozzle, I think it's number 12 is a good one. I'll tell you why, because it's got a little circle on the end as well, so that's super handy. There we go. Put our little, like that. That's like a little jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? Oops, sorry, I just pulled the camera lead then. I've got my lead plugged in last night. I forgot to plug my mobile phone in overnight, so my phone's a bit flat today. Right. And then we'll just do the centre of that. Trying to see how messy I look online. I look up at the camera, it just looks like chaos. Got 2 rolling pins. Why have I got 2 rolling pins on the go? And then I'm just going to take hold of the other end, so the end of this number 12 nozzle, just cut it like that. You can always take hold of a paintbrush to push them out if they get stuck. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just depends what you're doing. Just put a little blob in the middle. There we go. And we'll just pop that on there like so. There we go. Okay, now ice cream here. So I'm just going to, so again, I could pipe this. I'm really tempted actually. Maybe I'll pipe it. I think I'm going to pipe it, you know, because I want to. I think that would be a good idea because I've got other things I want to pipe later on today. So maybe I'll get that going. So what nozzle should we use? Of course, I think we're going to be using Wilton 18, if I can see what I did with it. I was very organised, you know, and had my bag ready with the nozzle and everything in it. Now I can't see it. I'll probably, oh no, here it is. Look at that. This is just to prove how organised I am. So this is Wilton, oh no, that's 16, hold on. Well, I was almost organised. I've almost got the right nozzle. Let's find it. There it is. No, that's PME 6. We don't want that one. Actually, the one I had a minute ago wasn't bad. What was that? This is 16 I've got in at the moment, which is a slightly bigger version than the other one. Actually, this might be quite good. That is a PME 43. Let's try that. We've got that on the site as well. Let's try a 43. No, it's not big enough. Sorry, I'm being very indecisive. Please ignore me. Occasionally, because it's a Mr. Whippy, you see, I'm being very fussy about what nozzle I use here. Yeah, we'll go back to that one. Okay, this is very similar to Wilton 18, so do the same thing. Right, whose idea was this, eh? Before we do that, we're going to just dye this part here. We're just going to do with a little bit of, it's called Autumn Leaf, which is a sugar flare colour. Here we go. Do what I want. Yeah, it's my biscuit. I like that. That's funny. Thing is, I have all these plans and I get online and I start changing my mind, you see, so that doesn't help matters. So this is Autumn Leaf colour. This is a really nice ice cream cone teddy bear type colour. Depending on how strong you make it, I've made this quite strong. Always add a bit more white to it if you need to tone it down a little bit. Stick a bit more in there. There we go. So because this is a paste, you don't need very much of it. It's very strong, but it's a really nice colour. I really like this colour a lot. I use it on quite a lot of things. It's very sticky today. It's just warm, isn't it? I have got my air conditioning unit on. You can probably hear it in the background, but it's I don't think it's helping me massively, but there we go. We're on Postman Pat at the minute, isn't it? Maybe I'll have to do this as a van, a Postman Pat van at some point. I might do that this week. Could use it as, I'll tell you what else you could use it for. If anybody is obsessed with Amazon, you could do an Amazon lorry. You could do an Amazon delivery driver. I know that I see lots of these cakes around that have Amazon, like they look like Amazon parcels, or maybe you could do some cookies to go with them, make little Amazon vans. Now the Amazon vans I think are, I'm not sure what colour they are, I've seen them around, but that would be quite good. Maybe that's an option for you. So I'm going to just cut it out like that, take hold of this, flip it over, run my finger down there so I know where it is, and across there, catch the end of that, turn it back over again. There we go. Yeah, so Amazon van. There's another idea for you. Anything that's a van, really, isn't it? Perhaps you've got somebody who, you know, is a paint and decorator. If you could always take their logo, couldn't you, and get that printed and make lots of little vans for them? They'd make good little corporate cards, wouldn't they? Like those. Quite exciting, wouldn't it? Yeah, we have possibilities with the van, not just ice cream. Can do all sorts with it. So something like this, if you take your knife and just turn your knife upside down, so the sharp end is facing up, so you need to be careful with this, but you do get a wider end than you would get if you turn it the other way around. When you would get a sharper end, it's more likely to cut. I think this is a bit more realistic for what we're trying to do. Just be careful though, you don't want to cut yourself. And then we'll pop that on there, turn that round, whoops, and we'll put our ice cream cone on there. And I wanted to do that before I did the Mr. Whippy bit, because otherwise I'd have to then squeeze that bit in and it's going to be too difficult for me, so I might as well do this bit now. Must not touch that knife though. Set a very bad example here. I'm just doing this again on here just so I can get a bit of a deeper impression. There we go, that's better. I like. Right, back to the royal icing. So standard royal icing, again, recipes are on my teaching courses, so if anybody wants to have a go, you know where you've got to go, over to the cake school. Let's move you over there for a second, put that up there. She tries to remain tidy online. Let's pop some icing into this bag. So we've got Wilton, well, we've got a 16 in here, which is actually sort of some random nozzle I've got, but it's incredibly similar to an 18. So we're just going to take our nozzle and we're going to come like that. And then we're going to go back again and go like that. And then again like so. Then we'll do a little, oh, look at that, wonderful. There we go. So the other one I did was flatter, so I cut the other one out of sugar paste. This one I've piped, so you could do that. Now I know someone's going to say, what about a flake? Well, I have actually got some flakes here, so I might try and see if I can cobble one together. So they are actually genuine flakes, yummy. Okay, so let's move this forward a bit. I'm trying not to get this everywhere because flakes just fall apart, don't they? So we need a bit of a flake, but not obviously as chunky and big as that. So we need a small version. So let's cut down there. Let's see what we've got there. Oh, it's not too bad, but it looks a bit big to me. So I'll just cut it back a little bit. There we go. Let's see if we can pop that on there. This is like glitter, it goes everywhere. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just so much better, isn't it, with a flake? There we go. Okay, so we have a van with a flake on it now. Excellent news. Right, we'll keep that for later because we're going to need that for my other little mini cookie cutter that we've got going. Right, I'm just going to put that down there. I'm just going to use my plastic side scraper just to get rid of some of this chocolate that's forming. There we go. I'm just propping it up a little bit just so we've got it in the right place. Food truck. I'll tell you, is another one you could do with this. Anyone who's got a food truck, like a burger van or a sandwich van or something along those lines, you could do that with this as well. So there's loads to do with this. Right, let's pick a very nice topper. So let's go for one of the big ones. Let's go for this one here. And all I'm going to do, so these are on our edible papers. They are $1.99 because it's only half a sheet versus a full sheet, but you still get 14 images. You've got loads of images to play with. And then we're going to just cut loosely around the outside edge of it. So rather than sort of trying to cut up close, we'll just cut sort of quite randomly around it. There we go. We'll just follow it round like so. Now don't forget this has got a backing sheet on it because it's an edible sheet. So on the back of it you're going to find, if I put my nail in there, you'll see it's got an edible sheet. So you must pull this off. You don't want to be putting that on your cookie. It's not going to taste very nice. And then what we'll do is we'll mount this on a little bit of sugar paste just so it stands out. So we'll take hold of some white. It looks better than having it flat. I don't know why, but it just does. I'm going to need a tiny bit of water. Let me just, oh no, there we go. Got that. I'm just too organised today. Okay, we'll just take a paintbrush and we'll just put a little bit of water on there. Take hold of this and we're going to pop that on. Now what you want to do is make sure you don't get any water on there because otherwise the pattern will come off. So it's really important that you don't touch it. So I'm just going to go round with my cutting wheel and just remove that part there. There we go. This cuts through, but it won't damage anything. If I do that, it's not going to cut through the board or anything, so that's quite good. And then we'll take a blob of icing there, pop that on there, and then we'll just lift this on. There we go. It's a tasty freeze, apparently. They did make me laugh, some of these. It must be American or something, just hilarious. Okay, so that's that. Right, now we'll do some bunting again like we did before, but we'll decorate it slightly differently. We'll do some different colours. So we will do, we'll do blue, obviously, pale blue, because that's a really nice colour. Oops, hold on, I've got a tray under my leg here, that's not helping me. Let's move that over there. So I'm not going to do pink today, well, not on this bit anyway. I might do it on something else later on, I'll just have to resist. So we'll do blue. My gels are leaking everywhere. I'm sure other people have this problem. They are a bit of a nightmare. Gels, you don't want to leave them anywhere because they absolutely leak everywhere. I don't think I've ever found food colouring that doesn't leak quite as badly as the gels, but there we go. So we'll give that a bit of a knead through. So this is just Colour Splash Blue. It's nothing particularly. Do I have any other ideas to decorate an ice lolly biscuit with sugar paste? Other than my Fab one, I've got lots of ideas I've done already. And I've got some chocolate ones around somewhere that I did that were good. So I'll get those out in a minute. So we'll do this one, we'll do blue, and then perhaps we'll do a little bit, let's see what I've got in my box. I think I need to get a pressure hose on my gel box after this. Oh my goodness. This is one of those things. Let's go for a nice bright summery yellowy colour. There we go. And that will be quite nice, you see, because there's yellow there and there's blue there, so it's going to pick up those colours. Always kind of be aware of what you're using on your whole thing, your whole biscuit or your whole cake, so you can try and pick up your colours as you go, and then it does do that. Let's see what we've got. I'm just reading a comment that someone's written about PayPal, so I'm just going to give you a little heads up on PayPal. So at the beginning of the year, PayPal decided to change their security settings and made it more tricky for people to come along and basically defraud you. So what it does is that sometimes, particularly on PayPal, postcodes can really play havoc with getting the orders through. So what I mean by that is, I mean, if you write your postcode all in lowercase and you don't put a gap between it, the numbers and the letters, it can throw it out. So if you're having any difficulties with that, try that first before you come back to me. I've got on my mobile phone lots of autofill, and these security settings are not liking this so much these days, and they are stopping more orders going through. So it's not the website, it's the payment systems that are doing it. So if anybody is getting any problems, I normally spot double orders, so don't worry if you've had a problem. We will refund you back. We won't leave you hanging. You'd be all right. I will sort it for you. Right. Okay. So we've got blue and we've got yellow. So I'll give them a roll. You can roll at the same time. Save yourself a bit of time. Okay. Just roll that out like so. I'm going to show you a slightly different way of how I've done last week's one versus this week's one, she says, hopefully. Hold on. See if I've got my little gadget floating around. I've had a tidy up. Most people know when I say the words I've had a tidy up, that's just like massive disaster for me, because it then means I can't find anything. Oh, that'd be nice. Let's try and do some little flowers or something. What have we got there? No, we'll cut it out. We'll just cut it out, be fine. Right, let's get it onto the plastic board. There we go. There and there. And my knife, which is there, which I'll just cut the flake out with. I was thinking, what have I been using that for? I've now worked it out. So just cut yourselves, obviously not on your posh cutting board, because otherwise you'll end up damaging it. Just a strip of both colours. So, there we go. Let's get those out of the way. So I've gone off screen a little bit, I'll be back on. It's not yellow, I think it was just called lemon, Colour Splash Lemon. I'm not sure it's on our website. I'll maybe put it on at some point, but I think it's just one I've managed to find in the cupboard. So I'm just going to make some little triangles, just going backwards and forwards there. I just wanted it to match that really, so it was a bit kind of a random decision. Okay, same with this one, and that way. So I keep looking up and seeing questions, so if I've missed anything, you can always get in contact with me afterwards, or the lovely Nikki, who I think is definitely on at the moment, will help you. If you can't find anything on our site, she'll point you in the right direction, because she's brilliant and she's helped me massively while Kelly's not been here. Right, let's turn this around. So what we're going to do before I do that, I'm just going to mark the bottom of this truck, because I would quite like it to have a bit going across there, like so. And then I'll just take hold of my nozzle and just put a little headlight on there as well. And then I'm going to take hold of my bunting, put a little bit of royal icing on the back, and we'll start at the bottom and we'll go. I've cut my yellow bigger than my blue, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And we'll go across like so. Obviously when I was using the sewing machine to make this bunting, I didn't use my template properly. That's what I would be telling everybody. Looks okay, it's fine. So this is a different colour scheme to the one I did the other day, which I'll get out later on. Still got to do my window, I haven't forgotten about that. We'll come back and do that in a minute. There we go, just a little bit going across there like that. And then you can always use the colours that you've got to do your wheel arches, because I always think that again ties that all in really nicely. So you can just roll that out. Right, just bringing, with Beginner's Royal Ice Flour Cookie course, does it include making and using royal icing? Yes, it does. Yes, it absolutely does. There is a full video in the Beginner's Royal Ice Cookies on how to make royal icing. So yes, the answer to that is yes. And the royal icing, people are scared of royal icing, but you know what? I've converted quite a lot of them to actually love it, because I love it. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant skill to have. So definitely. So Beginner's Royal Icing Cookies, the one you're talking about, is on the Sugarcraft membership, as is Royal Icing itself, the main course for that. So if you start to love it, you'll probably find it's easier to go for the Sugarcraft membership, and then you'll actually be able to have access to royal icing as well as your cookie one. So there you go, have a look at that. I'm just going to move that across there a little bit. So I'm just going to use a bit of water actually rather than royal icing. It's getting a bit sticky today. So I'll just take that. So this is such a nice mould to use. As I say, Postman Pat, here we come. We're going to be doing some postal bands. It's a shame I haven't got any. I'm going to have to go and look for some Royal Mail logos or something, aren't I? See what I can find. A lot of it's to do with copyright, so we can't use a lot of. So all the logos, all the things I sell as cake toppers, they've all been bought with licenses. So something like Postman Pat would be very difficult to copy, but we can always get the idea, can't we? A Postman Pat van or whatever it is. Right, okay, so that's that. I've done everything under there, yeah. Bring that out, my little van. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this now, because we're going to be looking at this shortly, which is obviously the cocoa butter painting. So I just want to paint that window. So I'm just going to run through this very quickly for those of you that have not seen it before. So I teach a lot of cocoa butter painting, as in masses and masses of it. And this is the system that I use to do my painting. So this is called a chrome food warmer. Now we don't sell these. You'll have to go to Amazon to get one of these. Just put in the word chrome food warmer, because it hasn't been invented for cocoa butter painting, but what we've done is work out a system where you can do cocoa butter painting using one of these. Now these are normally about £10, they're not very expensive, and then we put on top of there a metal paint palette. Now we do actually have a beginner's cocoa butter cake painting kit, which does include everything except for the chrome food warmer to get you started. Now if you don't want to go and buy yourself a chrome food warmer, you can just boil a kettle and use boiling water, but obviously you're going to find the heat's going to disappear when the water cools down, and you're going to then need to reheat it in order to be able to use it. So this is cocoa butter, that's what it looks like, and we give you 100 grams in the kit. And it's going to take you a long time to go through it, but this is what you need to paint on chocolate. And this is what I teach all my classes in, so that's why we have it. I'm just going to put a tiny amount of petal blue on here. Oh, a load of petal blue then even. So we use sugar flare colours, and in our cocoa butter kit we do include 11 dusting colours, and these are the core dusting colours that match the beginners cocoa butter cake painting course. So if you fancy having a go at that, then if you buy the kit, it's going to match the course. It's nice and easy to follow. You couldn't be any better really. So that's what's going to happen there. I'm just checking that candle's alight. Yes, it is. So this will start to melt shortly, and then we will use our dusting colours like we would use, say, something like powder paint, and we mix them together in order to be able to get a paint that we can then put onto various different things that we make. So that's going to, you'll see it start melting under there in a second. So the cocoa butter kit, just to recap, has got in there a metal paint palette, 100 grams of cocoa butter, 11 dusting colours and 4 paint brushes. Now all the paint brushes I use, I've got numbers on them. You'll see there it's got paintbrush number 1. Okay, and that's how I teach my classes. So I will ask my students to pick up paintbrush number 3, paintbrush number 1, paintbrush 0, and then I know they've got the right brush in their hand for what they're trying to do. So if you're getting confused and you think, well, I don't know which brush he's talking about, then normally I will tell you on here which number it is. Now some of my older classes don't do that, but certainly from beginners onwards, we have been doing all with brushes now that are numbered to help you go through exactly what it is. So we're keeping you on track as best we possibly can. So the ones that kind of post-date that course just talks about sort of the thickness of these brushes, but prior to that, as I say, we're now doing it all on numbers. So you can see this is now melting like so because of the heat that's coming up through the metal paint palette. We're just going to pick up a tiny bit of blue, tiny bit of white, mix the two together and just get a very pale blue colour like so. If anybody has any questions about cocoa butter painting, then do let me know, because I like to consider myself a bit of an expert on that one. So if you have got any questions about it, we do lovely flower ones, we do animal ones, we do like children's one, like there's the mermaid. The mermaid is lovely. There's a little girl with headphones, there's a lion, there's a real lion and a tiger. So there's all sorts of things that you can do on the course. There we go, I've just painted that at the end there just to fill those bits in there. I could cut a window out, but what I find is it tends to make it a bit bulky. I don't really want this window standing out above the van. You can cut it out and put in another window, but again, it's a bit of a faff. It takes seconds to paint it. So I personally prefer to do that. So if you wanted to vary this at all, you could put in some sprinkles. So perhaps if you wanted to add a few sprinkles into your ice cream, you could easily do something like that. Or as some of the other people have been suggesting, you could turn it into, I'm suggesting an Amazon delivery van. Someone has suggested Postman Pat's van, which of course we all love him. So that would be good to do. So let's bring these in like that so you can see them side by side. So I did this one earlier in the week. I've now gone on and done this one, so you can just see a bit of a variety on it. So this one I've done with the flat icing, so with the sugar paste. And I've just marked the lines with one of these tools here. So I've literally gone like that and just put the lines on in there. I've added a bit of extra sort of decor down the bottom here with this one. And I've used a different sheet this time. So a different image from my edible ice cream van sheet. And then we've obviously piped the ice cream on here and used a little bit of Mr. Whippy special here with a bit of flake on here, just to kind of change the different appearance of the van. So there's lots of different things that you can do to alter the appearance of these cookies. You don't have to have them all like this or all like this. There's many different things you can do. And if you were doing these as like party favours or something, because there's so many different images on here, they're actually a repeat of 7, so you've got 2 of each. So you can easily just kind of cut around there. They all say ice cream, sweet treats, all of those kind of things. They're all fun to do, and you literally just cut off the bit that you want. And then when you're not using your sheet, you just pop it back in the bag and seal it, and then it will stay fresh, and then you'll be able to come back and use it another time. But you will also be able to use these on other cookies as well. So if you wanted to do something else, just to kind of sweet treats, that kind of thing, we do have lollies. You can use them on those. So let's put my vans there for a second. Now the other one I did earlier in the week, which is our other new cookie cutter, which I'm now leaping up to find, is our mini Fab Lolly. So our mini Fab Lolly looks like this. It is quite small, and it's been done deliberately this size to do cookie cutters. So cupcakes. It's been done this size to do on a cupcake. Now I've done the Fab on here before, and I have done it this time using the cookie cutter, and this is the one I did earlier in the week. Now we're struggling to get these sprinkles at the moment, which is a bit of a pain, but we have got other sprinkles that you can use on here, but that's what we've done with this. So all I did here was, that is actually a cookie itself, so it started off its life looking like that. I then covered it in sugar paste, and I painted the bottom half of this red, and then I left that white. Then I took some brown royal icing, and I just painted that across there like that so it was sticky, and then I dipped it in some sprinkles. So there's lots of different sprinkles available that you can try to make different type lollies. So somebody just asked me a minute ago about different lolly ideas. There's no reason why you can't take hold of this and just create your own type brand of lolly. I know everyone goes, oh wow, that's a fab, and that's why I did it, because I wanted people to be able to recognise this, but there's plenty of options here to be able to turn this around. If you were clever and you've made your cookie, cut it out, you could even cut that to a point there and turn that into a rocket lolly maybe, so you could change the shape. So before you bake it, you could just chop the sides off there, and then you could paint those sort of different colours there. So there's lots of different options with this little cutter. So it's quite small, and you can see it's always easier for me to show you actually on a cupcake how big it is, because otherwise it gets very confusing when you see things online. You think, well, I can't really work out what size it is. So it's 6 centimetres by 3 centimetres, so it is a tiny little thing, but not as tiny as my new little baby cutter, which is having its premiere now because it's only just arrived. And I'm going to show you my lovely new ice cream cutter, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to just pop my ice cream vans up there for a second and pop my little Fab Lollies there, and take hold of this, get rid of some of these sprinkles. Sprinkles get everywhere, they're like glitter. I honestly dread using sprinkles and glitter on lives because they always end up absolutely everywhere. Right, so let's backtrack. That is the original ice cream cone mould that I have, which I have used for various different things other than ice creams as well. And again, there are videos on my YouTube channel which if you go across and have a look at, you're going to see how I've turned this upside down last year and we turned it into a hanging basket. So there are loads of different things you can do with this, and we've had actually really quite good fun thinking of different ways of things that we can do with this. It's lovely, I love it, but I do want a baby one for cupcakes, and that's what we've now got. So welcome little baby cup, very, very small cookie cutter, but it is a mini version of this one. And I want you to see the two next to each other so you realise just how dinky it is. And we're going to, I've made some cookies already. Let me bring these over. Here they are, little tiny ones here. So we're just going to make up a few little ice creams, and I'm going to show you what they look like on cookies so you get an idea of how tiny it is. So I'm just going to again knead this. Anyone who's just joining me and see me with black fingernails, I decided to dye some black icing live, which is not a good idea. So yes, I have washed my hands. Just apologise for that. Right. So again, we'll do our, now these again you could do with royal icing if you particularly want to. I'm going to put that in there, look, you can just see how small it is. I'm going to take hold of this, take it out, and I'm just going to cut, so I only want the cone part at the bottom. These are, I love these, I'm so happy with these when it turned up. It's like, yes, exactly what I wanted. So very pleased with these. Just take hold of the cutting wheel again there. I'm going to do two, shall we? Then we can do two different ones, can't we? There we go, like so. And again, we'll take hold of our icing. These would be really good for brownies, tops of brownies, and I just think as well, I'll tell you what's nice about this. Sometimes sugar craft decorations, when they're all like solid lumps of sugar paste, I just think this is a little bit different, and I just think it's fun. Imagine making these with kids, they'd be obsessed with them. Well, I would, my kids would be anyway. So we'll pop that on there like so. We'll do a couple of different options. I actually made, how many did I make in the end? 4. Oh, I must have been on a roll then. Okay. So I'll pop that one on there. Ooh, I'll catch hold of it. Like so. They're also good for filling up treat boxes. You know, I keep going on about this. Don't make all your cookies huge because you do need smaller ones to fill up your boxes. Let's take hold of our knife again. So we'll do this while it's actually sat in on the biscuit this time because it's so little. I'm sure once I pick it up we'll probably distort it, so it's probably easier to do it like so. And we'll turn that way. There we go. Oh, thank you. They're so cute. Right, where's my icing bag gone? There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll take hold of this. Now for sale purposes, so in other words, if you want to buy these, I haven't put them together in a set. And the reason I haven't done that is because the ice cream cone cookie cutter was out last year and a lot of you may already have it. So the small one is available on its own. They're not in a set together. Some things we put in sets. If we bring out a new thing, we will put it together as a set. But if we bring out something that's in addition, we will separate it. So that's what I've done with this. So this is separate. Now just be careful when you order this that you order the one that says mini and not the ice cream cone. So look very carefully at what you're doing because this is a teeny tiny little thing and you want to make sure you get the right one. So I'm going to take hold of this bag again. So I'm going to try and do a Mr. Whippy here. So we go across again and again. And I think because these are little, I think actually that there we go, I think the piping might look a bit more realistic than the, oh look at that, it's like a dream come true. I love it. Right, I need to put a cone on now, I need to put a flake on, let me get my flakes back. Let's see if we can make this work. Right, so I'll take another slice out of my flake. And we'll chop it down a little. That just fell apart, so that's nice and easy for me to do then. Let's take that bit off there. Oh my god, that's so sweet. I love it. Oh, I'm buying into this already completely. Right, okay. This is just the most loveliest thing ever. Let's do another one. Oh, it's just lovely. Okay. So we could always do sprinkles as well. I must admit, when I get to the ice cream van, I just like my ice cream to look like this. I'm not one for loads of sprinkles, but some people are. Again, we'll just take it and we're just going in a line. And then we'll go round and up at the end. Get a nice pointy bit there. So if you wanted to put some sprinkles on it, what could we recommend? Well, we've got the confetti ones, but they are, oh, we've got these new red and white ones. Red, pink and white, which are these ones here. So we could always use the little ones at the bottom. So we could pop those on. There's some like little, oh, they're sweet actually. Oh, lovely. I like a lot. So these ones are called red, pink and white. They've got large ones in there as well, as you can see, and some smaller ones. But right at the bottom there, can you see lots of those? They're pink and white Perels. So they're like the white ones that we sell absolutely tons of, these ones, but they're like little red and pink ones. So they look very nice on there. And again, I think I might have to just put a little flake on there just because I can. Gotta go and find myself a Mr. Whippy van later on, I think. Our one's coming round at very inconvenient times at the moment. Normally just as I'm about to eat my tea. Right, there we go. Little one there. Oh, that's just beyond cute, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, I'm going to have to trim that down a bit though, it's a tiny bit too long. Aesthetically, it's not quite, that's better. There we are, look at that. I mean, could that be any cuter? No, I don't think so. It's just the most loveliest thing ever. Oh, of all the things I've invented, I have to say that was the one that I just fell in love with when it arrived. It's so cute. Right, let's get it on a cupcake. So we've got some idea how this is going to look. It's all very well talking about it, but we actually want to see how it's going to look on a cupcake, don't we, really? So we've got a couple of cupcakes here and some buttercream. I'm surprised I've got any cupcakes left after the week I've had. It's been a very busy week on that front, but I've got a little bit. So we'll just pop some icing on here. There we go. That, and then we'll do the other one. So this just seals the edges, it just stops them drying out. We don't really want dried out cupcakes, do we? It's not very nice before we do our piping. There we go. Let's fill that up a bit. Right, I've got my piping nozzle, so I just need a bag, so we use the 1M. And just put some icing in. Oops. So this is now on the website, this new little cookie cutter, along with the Fab and the ice cream van as well. So if you do fancy having a go at doing cookies, it's quite warm at the minute, so it's quite fun to do biscuits, I think. And if you've got some holidays coming up and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do with these kids? Well, they might enjoy something like this, I think. It's good fun. So I'm just going to put my icing in there, and we'll just take hold of, hold on, let's move that out of the way, so I'm going to knock it over otherwise. So we'll just take hold of our flag and we'll go round. Like so. Something else you could do if you particularly wanted to, you could always mount these on a disc. I always think sometimes that looks quite nice. It sort of frames things a little bit. So you could put them straight on like that. That looks nice, doesn't it? Or, let me move that over there a bit. You could take hold of, you could put your sprinkles around the outside edge as well if you wanted to. So where's my red and pink ones? So if you wanted to add a few little sprinkles to this, you could just pop some, and actually the different size ones look quite nice on here as well. It kind of matches the cone then. Oh, that's fun. There we go. I'm just using the ones that are in this pot just so you can see. That actually makes that really stand out, doesn't it? Let's put some of these bigger ones on there. There we go. Yeah, you could make, so there's that one there. So you can see cupcake size wise what these look like, and I think actually that's quite important, so because otherwise you can end up going, well, how big is it? And then it turns up and you're going, is that it? Oh yeah, that's it, that's all you need. So I've just got a little bit of blue sugar paste here. Now let's find a, oh here we go, this is probably not what I want to do, be looking for a cutter. No, I need one a bit bigger than that. What have I got there? Does my 2-inch one work? Okay, that's good. Alright, so our little round 2-inch cookie cutter here, so we'll put that on, we'll give that a, this is the one I think would work well as well if you wanted to use the sugar sheets. So if you wanted to make a disc like so, and then take one of these and pop that onto there, that would look really nice as well. And then what we'll do is we'll take our icing again and we'll do another swirl. I'm just showing you some different ways to present this. Okay, so we're going for a bit more of a sort of sunny day type one, this one. And then we'll take hold of some sprinkles. So let's go white Perels here. Okay, and we will just dip that in the edge because I think that always looks really nice. Around that way. There we go. Oops. Okay, so that's that, and then we'll pop that on top. Now you could always let that dry so it doesn't sort of bend with the icing at all if you want to do that, so you could do those in advance. And then we'll take our little cone and a bit of royal icing on the back of it. So my icing's drying out. It always does this when I have air conditioning on. Oh, hold on, I've got some in a piping bag, even better. It won't be dried out then. So let's put a blob on the back there, like so, just to hold that in place. And then we'll put that on there, like so. So you've got two different ideas there, so you don't just have to do them just sticking them on like that. You can use different sprinkles. This one here is the red, what did I say, this one's a red, pink and white multi sprinkles. This one here I've just used Colour Splash Blue and our lovely white sprinkles around the outside edge. This one just lifts it and just changes it slightly, and of course then if you're starting to do your ice cream vans, then you can coordinate them with your ice cream colours. So this one goes very nicely with this one particularly because it's got the blue in it. So you can start looking at the whole presentation. So if you're doing a beach themed party, for example, you could then start using your colour schemes across your cupcakes and obviously across your cookies as well. So there's some ideas there with the new mini ice cream cookie cutter. There it is, my little baby. That is now available. So if you are interested in that one, then do please go to the website. You will find it all on there. I say it's a tiny little thing. We have got them in stock already. We have got some ice cream vans left, but we've got another delivery due shortly of all those bits and pieces. But it is, I think, some really, really nice ideas to come out of this. Now with the cookies over the last few weeks, I'm just going to run through the cookie boxes I've been doing across the last few weeks before I move on to the next thing, so you can actually see what I've done with the cookies, because there's been an awful lot of work done on the cookie cutters so that you have lots of ideas that you can do with the summer. Some I've done on here live, some I've done on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see some bits there. So I'm just going to show you a couple of selections of things. Let's just move those over there. So this is one box that I have done using some of the cookie cutters that we've got. We have had the sunflower one here. Now sunflowers, I did talk about this earlier, are in big time at the moment. So we have got this one which was made on the Royal Iced course, which is what the other lady was talking about a minute ago. And that is the cookie cutter itself. There we go. So that's being used, that's with royal icing. This is done with sugar paste. So this has been the same as what I've been rolling out all along, and I've just changed it into a sun for that particular one. I also did another box with a sunflower one, and I changed the expression of the sun. So I did it with, instead of him having his eyes closed, the sun's got the eyes open. And by that I have used, I think they're listed as, they might be listed as eyes, might be something like rabbit eyes, but we've used them for eyes on literally everything under the sun. So that one there is how we've done that. So that's 3 different cookies from one cookie cutter. So that's the sunflower cookie cutter. Brilliant because sun's coming out, and also brilliant because we've got sunflowers out at the moment. So there's loads of options with this. And I did actually also do this in a different colour. I did it in a lilac colour. So I also did change it to a different flower as well. But that's the same cookie cutter. And when you cut it out, that's what it looks like. So there's massive amount of detail on this cookie cutter. There it is. That's the sunflower one. Okay, let's move that over there. Our swimsuit cookie cutter, again, I have painted that now in various different ways, including this way using a patchwork cutter. So here I did leopard print, which I just painted randomly, and this one here I have used one of the patchwork cutters that's called Daisy. Daisy chain I used on this one, because we have 2 patchwork cutters. You need to be really careful when you're ordering the patchwork cutters. There's one called large daisies, and then there's one called Daisy chain. So this one was done with Daisy chain. And also, and I mentioned it earlier, you can see that I've used a dotting tool on here to get exact dots on my swimsuit. So this little tool here does make very, very nice circular dots, much easier than trying to do a paintbrush, much more accurate and much better appearance. So the dotting tools are something that's used in nail art, but actually works brilliantly with colourings as well. Obviously, if you're using it for nail art, please don't use it for sugar paste and edible things. You need 2 sets. You need one for your nails and one for your cake decorating. Not a good idea. Also in this box as well, this is the other little mini lolly that we've got, and if I put the Fab one next to it, you'll see roughly that it's the same size, but this one is in a set of 3, and that's because it was an original set that came out together. So that one is called triple lolly set or something. Now we're quite running short on these at the moment, so there are not a huge number of these around. This one is actually listed as the leaf mould, but I've converted it into a surfboard. So again, I'm showing you as many things as I can with all the cookie cutters that I keep coming up with, so that you have different ideas about the things you can do with these cookie cutters, because I don't just want you to buy one and then not use it again and again and again. I want you to use it throughout the year for different things. So if you're making a lovely flower arrangement, this makes a very nice leaf. But if you're making a box for the beach, then a surfboard looks much, is of the same cookie cutter. And then of course this was hugely popular when I made this, and this is the one, if I turn it like that, is the flip-flop FPC flip-flop mould, and it is just the best mould ever, the little silicone mould. Again, on some blue sugar paste with a bit of, I was going to say sand, it's not, is it? It's light, soft brown sugar, and a little bit of royal icing there to do the waves. Now, the glitter for the mini orange lolly is called Finishing Sparkle. So all I did with this was I did the lolly in orange paste, and then I took hold of this product here, which is called Finishing Sparkle. There we go, which we've got on our website as well. And then I just sprayed it over the top. So I've ended up with a sparkly lolly, orange sparkle being a lolly that we, or some of us of certain generations, will know all about. So that's why I did that one there. Let's move on to another box. So I'm just having a little shift around here. I've got boxes of cookies everywhere. I've never known anything like it. Right, these ones here are the ones that we did again another week. So we've used again the large ice cream cookie cutter. Again, the sprinkles that go across the bottom there, there's no reason why you can't do that on the little mini one. The swimsuit, this time I've turned it into a bikini. So this one now is my yellow polka dot bikini. We all know the song, well I do anyway. This was the pizza cookie cutter, and I turned that into a watermelon, and it was very simple to cut out. 2 shades of green, pink, and then some black, which again I did with the dotting tool, and then I just took my paintbrush and made a little line through it to turn it into a watermelon. This one here is listed as Prosecco Glass. So Prosecco Glass, again, was another one of the cookie cutters that I invented for basically Jubilee, that we've now moved it forward into the summer. So we're now saying not only can you have it as a Prosecco or champagne glass or a wine glass, you can have it as a cocktail glass as well. And it's got these lovely little cutout images on there as well, which is part of one of our cake topper sheets. So it's called Happy Fruit, Happy Days. And that again, you can have that printed. I'm going to get one out. I've got one next to me. There we go. They look like this. They have lots of different things on the sheets, and you can just cut them out. So there's a pear, an orange, some grapes. They're all very smiley and happy, which is my kind of thing. And you can just cut those out and pop them onto the thing. This here was for those of you that watch Love Island, which turns out to be me, I think, and nobody else, but that's fine. That's the very sort of start image of that program. They tend to have this kind of heart-shaped thing going on. Right, let's move on to this one. More ideas. I think your heads must be exploding with all these cookie ideas, I can tell you. So this is another box that I made. This one here, so we've got a bottle of beer in here, so that's the bottle cookie cutter. And we've got all the little accessories that you need to do the beer labels on there as well. These mini starfish, which I made using the mini star cutter, and then I just manipulated them. So I just kind of twisted them just so they weren't exactly like a star, and we turn those into little mini starfish. You see what I was saying about things fitting into boxes? Don't make everything big. Always use a variety of sizes when you're doing a treat box. We do have treat boxes on the website. They're in packs of 2, and I know Nikki's put a link up already because I did see it. These are lovely boxes. I've put a piece of tissue paper in the bottom, so I've put in a piece of blue tissue paper, and I've put over the top some shredded paper. But you could always use things like marshmallows, little mini marshmallows if you perhaps like that look as well, but just anything that's kind of just to give it a bit of interest more than anything else. This was a chocolate lolly. This is one of the rounded lollies that again I painted on alive and turned into a fab. My lovely flamingo. I was determined to get a flamingo in here. I just thought I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So the flamingo here is on one of the Plaque cookie cutters. And we have the flamingos on a sheet. There's 8 on a sheet, and you cut them out and put them on, and I painted the background with a bit of cocoa butter, a bit of dark blue, light blue, and a bit of yellow sun, and made a flamingo cookie cutter as well. You know, when you think about beach and you go, right, what's missing? I thought I need a flamingo in there somewhere. So that's how we've ended up with that. And then we've got a nice Hawaiian shirt in the corner there, which is part of the chocolate molds. I pick that up and turn that over, you'll see it's chocolate. And again, you can paint that in whatever colour you like. So lots of different Hawaiian shirt ideas. So you've got a variety in this box. You've got some cookies and you've got some chocolate lollies as well. So there's lots of different things going on in here. And I guess the more interesting the box is, the more appealing it is when you hand it over. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items roughly per box. And again, if you look at this box, 4 of them are quite small, and then there's sort of 3 or 4 big ones per box, and they're all very similar to that. They've all kind of been calculated that kind of way. This one here is called, now what have I called this one? Something like fruit jars or something. And again, this one was done on our mason jar cookie cutter, which I chopped the sides off and turned it into a bit more of a taller jar, cut out the edible image and popped that on there as well. It's like one of those jars of sort of fruit drink, I know what I mean. And that's what I did on that one. And then the last one, let's bring the last one in, is this one. There we go. And this one had, again, the flip-flops, because they were so popular. I made them 2 weeks on the trot. So if you've missed the flip-flop demonstration, go back to a couple of episodes of Let's Shop and you'll see me do it on there. If you start the video and there's loads of cookies going on, then the flip-flops will appear for sure. We've got a few left, but not very many. The little strawberries as well, I made a whole cake using these. And again, you'll be able to find that on Let's Shop, one of the previous editions of Let's Shop, about 2. Now, it's my aunt's birthday, so it would have been 11th of June. It'd be that time if you want to look at those. These are part of Royal Icing, so this has been made on my Royal Icing course, and it's my Lily cookie cutter. Very proud of these. I love these. We've made orange ones. We've made all sorts of different Lily colours. This one is part of Beginner's Royal Icing, Beginner's Royal Ice cookies. So if you fancy having a go, you'll find it in there. On the Royal Ice course, we did some pink versions of these and some orange ones as well, so some different ideas there. This is the travel cup. If I turn that over, you'll see it, and I've cut out some tropical edible paper and popped that on there to kind of turn it into one of those sort of reusable drink holders, you know what I mean, to turn that into something a bit sort of bright in the box. You always kind of want some bright things going on in the box, so it kind of balances as best you can get it. Another Mr. Whippy special, of course, is another one of these chocolate moulds. So if you fancy making a solid chocolate version of it, then obviously you've got that option there as well. And then there's this one here. Oh, let's pull this one out. It's got stuck. There we go. All right. And that's that one there as well. That one I think is called, I don't know, 3 something. I say I don't know all of this. When you go onto the website, you'll see I've actually put pictures of all this stuff up here with the right moulds, so it's all very recognisable. Well, I hope it is anyway. So the treat boxes themselves actually do come with cupcake holders. So if you did want to put a cupcake in there, you can. So if I bring this box in now, this is one I did earlier in the week, so I've got another ice cream van there. I'm turning into ice cream van queen. So you can put in, say, the swimsuit there, and you've got room there to put in a cupcake. So you can put in 2 cupcakes for a box, or you can leave the cupcake inners out and just have the whole thing as cookies. So it's entirely up to you, but you can obviously move things around. You don't have to have cupcakes in there. So if you just think, well, I'm just going to do cookies, just take the inner out and just use the box as a whole. We have got shredded paper on the website. It is food safe shredded paper, so if you want to put that into the bottom of your box and then pop your cookies on top, it protects them, it stops them whizzing around. Or you can use mini marshmallows, and I did say that earlier. So if you fancy the whole box being completely edible, then that's the way to go. And then once obviously they're all finished, you have these amazing clear lids that then fit nicely over the top of everything. And when you hand it over to whoever's going to take it, they can see exactly what's in the box. And I do think that is actually a really lovely feature of these boxes. I'm going to just tip it there because the sun, not the sun, the light is shining on it. Can't really see what's going on. So there we go. I'll just take that off again. It's a little bit easier when the lights are like pounding down on it, so you can see. Okay. So we've had another cookie masterclass today. We've also, before I disappear, just going to point out that we have got the new daisy cutter in. I say it's new. It's Marion Frost's Patchwork Cutter Daisy, which I have painted onto that cupcake there. Now these are actually too big for a cupcake, so if I put it on there you'll see that it is too big. So what I've done is I've pressed it into some sugar paste, and then I have used my round cutter just to take a portion of the daisy and then pop it onto a cupcake, and I've used my sprinkles around the outside edge just to kind of tie it all in with the rest of the box. So the large daisies, now I'm going to show you the picture Marion's got on the product itself, and what she's done here is she's actually cut them out. Now I don't tend to do that a lot with me patchwork cutters. I tend to emboss everything and paint them, because that's obviously what I do a lot of. I do a lot of painting and embossing, so I think that is kind of the idea that I had with this. There are some leaves in there as well, and if you fancy doing something bigger, there's no reason why you couldn't do a whole cupcake topper on this by using these cutters here with the leaves and attaching them on like so. So large daisies are in, and I will paint those for you another week. And then the other one that we've got in is the one called Rose Garland. Now Rose Garland looks like this. So Marion's got them around the outside edge of the cakes here, again as cut out pieces, and that's not what I would do, because of course it's me and I would do things separately. Now they are 3 different sizes. I will emboss them, of course. So 3 different size cutters there, and if I turn them over you'll see there's the patterns on the other side. You can cut them out, but then of course you can use them for something like a plaque. So this is a little 6-inch round plaque. So if you were doing a cake for somebody and you fancy making a plaque in advance, you could take this, cover it in sugar paste, press that down, you have a beautiful rose pattern there, and then you could write happy birthday here, or good luck, or whatever it is that you want to say here on this side of the plaque itself. So there is lots of options with these, but they do paint up to be very nice roses. I'm going to hold that up a little bit closer so you can see what exactly it is on the packet there. And again, I will paint those up over the next few weeks, but time has literally run away today, so I am going to come back and do those another time. We've got lots of opportunities with Let's Shop over the next month or so. We hope, or I hope to be back for a short Let's Shop next week, but I will be putting a time up so you know when that's going to be happening, because obviously the big distraction at the moment, apart from me moving things around here, is the weddings, and I've got a lot going on at the moment, so I need to make sure that my timings are right every week, so I will put them up onto Let's Shop Cake Live. Let's have a quick recap. So we have got, we started with the classes, of course we did, because we love my classes. The new classes are starting shortly, so we've just had the log cake come out, and this is the one that's coming out on the 16th of July. So if you would like to sign up for that, remember it's part of Gold and Sugarcraft membership, so if you are interested in joining that, you can either buy it as is, or you can sign up for membership. It's entirely up to you, but all the details are on the Cake School. If you pay per month, you have access to lots of different classes. You don't have to stay the whole time. If you want to come and go, that's up to you. It's entirely up to you. So if you want to stay for a month, great. If you want to stay for 6 months, even better. I don't mind, but that's what's coming up shortly on the Cake School. We also talked about the sunflower class is on offer, so if you are, as long as you're not gold, silver or bronze member, so if you're Sugarcraft, or if you are or if you've not signed up for any membership, then the sunflower class is half price at the moment as well, so do go and have a look at that. So back onto here, let's get rid of all of that, there I am. Then obviously I've shown you another extensive amount of cookies, because that's where we are at the moment in cookie mode, which includes the new ice cream van, which we're going to convert into various other vans apparently. So we're going to turn it into Postman Pat's van, and also an Amazon Prime van, maybe DPD. I'll have a word with them. Maybe we'll do some for them and get them tagged in it. Let's see if we can get these vans online. So yeah, we might have a little play with the van cookie cutter this week and turn it into some different vans. Or maybe you've got somebody you know who's a builder, has got a logo. You could print that off and put that on there, make some van cookies. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So lots of different ideas with that. And then obviously we we have my new mini Fab cookie cutter and my little baby, my new mini ice cream one, which I'm extremely excited about. So the new mini ice cream cupcake size. So we are heading down this road big time at the moment. You're going to see a lot of our cookie cutters shrunk and suitable now for cupcakes. So we've got lots of Halloween ones coming up soon, mini ghosts, mini Frankensteins, mini all sorts of things that will fit very nicely onto cupcakes and look fun, and they'll be fun to make. You'll be able to make hundreds of them out of our cookie cutter recipe, so you should have lots of fun making all of those. Where's my list gone? I think I've actually buried it. Don't forget as well that the chalk pens are back in stock, and also the dotting tools are back in as well. We've got a final push on the candy floss sprinkles. They're now down to £1. They were normally £3.45. There's about 7 of them left, so if you do want one, go and grab one quickly. They are on short coded dates, so they are almost out of date, but to be perfectly honest with you, if you don't open them and just use them in your own time, they will be completely fine. It's one of those best before situations, so we have to follow the rules. When it says it's best before, we need to sell it, but once you've got it, you'll be able to do whatever you like with it, and they'll be fine. Beyond that, just use your judgment, but because they're made of sugar, the chances of them going off is very remote, but you do need to keep your lid on. Sprinkles have a nasty habit of picking up smell. If some of you have ever left the lid off some sprinkles and then gone back and smelt them and gone, what is that funny smell? It smells kind of musty. That's sprinkles picking up smell. They're a little devil for that, but if you keep the lid on, they're fine. Top tip there for you today. So I think that's it now for today for Let's Shop. So we will try and come back and do some painting with you next week. I will let you know what time that will be. I think I haven't got a wedding on Saturday, so it probably will be normal 10 o'clock time, but I will put it up there so that you know it's going to be a very, very hot week. I will not be live any other time this week, so I will not be live on Tuesday. I'm focusing on my online school this week, and also I have weddings to do, so I need to get those done. There's a lot of weddings going on at the moment, so I've got that to get sorted. If you do wish to place an order and you've placed one now and then another one later on because you wanted a bargain, that's fine. We will put the order together over the weekend and you will only pay one lot of postage. There are 2 people with orders waiting at the moment, so if that applies to you and you suddenly think I want that, then please place that order and we will just top it into the next order that goes out for you. We are using Royal Mail, so Royal Mail is how our post goes out. We will send everything out as fast as we can. Certainly we've got the majority of the stuff in stock at the moment, so we should be moving things along pretty quickly. If you have any questions about Let's Shop Cake Live, then do please let us know via the page or via my website www.tracyscakes.co.uk. I'm going to thank the lovely Nikki, my glamorous assistant, for helping me today. She's very good. She's not available. She's very good at doing all my links for me, and so thank you, Nikki. I do appreciate your help very much, and I'm sure Kelly will be permanently indebted to you until she returns from Amsterdam or in the Netherlands or wherever. She's all over the place, actually, to be perfectly honest, in Germany today, so Kelly's absolutely everywhere. But if you would like to get in contact with us, then do please get in contact with us via the website or via social media. There we go. So at Tracy Man Cakes, and the lovely Instagram, do please follow me on Instagram at Tracy Man Cakes. That's very similar to my YouTube and everything else, it's all the same. Yeah, do follow us on Instagram. There's lots and lots of things going on at the moment. We've been ploughing through various things that we want to show you that's coming up in the future. So I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you very much for tuning in, as ever, for Let's Shop. Do please feel free to go shopping now. If you have any queries or you have any problems at the checkout, let us know and we will help you through that dilemma. But thank you very much for your lovely comments.